We often obsess over what the ultra-successful do. We copy their 4 a.m. wake-up times and mimic their cold plunges, hoping that adopting their physical habits will produce their results. These habits follow a more fundamental change. They are the visible results of how a person processes information, what we can think of as a cognitive operating system. The default human mind relies on evolutionary programming designed for a different era. This system uses cognitive biases to prioritize the immediate reaction to threats, favoring short-term safety over the calculated risks required for modern success. Extraordinary achievement requires systematically overriding this default software across 5 specific domains. Building this new software comes first. Without it, changing daily habits is like trying to run an advanced application on a system that wasn't built to support it. In the domain of time, the average mind is guided by the availability heuristic. This mental shortcut makes us focus on today's urgent crisis, ignoring the long-term plan. Successful thinkers use a timeline measured in decades. Warren Buffett illustrates this through compounding, understanding that small actions repeated over a generation produce results a single big event never could. The same contrast applies to money. Default thinkers often fall for the sunk cost fallacy, pouring resources into a failing project simply because they've already invested so much. They treat money as emotional, discrete events. Look at this diagram. Systems thinkers view capital objectively as a resource flowing through a feedback loop. In this model, a loss isn't an emotional blow. It's a data point that identifies a structural flaw in the system. Shifting focus from immediate events to long-term systems creates the leverage needed to build sustainable wealth. In the domain of risk, the brain's default threat detection bias scans every new opportunity for reasons it won't work. It's an instinctive defensive posture. Experienced achievers force themselves to expand the solution space first. They assess the potential of an idea before they analyze the obstacles, keeping possibilities alive long enough to be evaluated fairly. We see this same biology at work in relationships. Disagreements often trigger the amygdala, pushing us into a state of fight, flight, or freeze. This primal reaction shuts down the cooperation a team needs to function. Effective leaders use their prefrontal cortex to bypass this response. They recognize that creating a safe environment where everyone is heard maximizes the team's collective ability to solve problems. Bypassing the urge to treat difficult conversations as threats is a requirement for high-performing teams. The final domain is failure. For many, failure feels like a verdict, a final statement on their intelligence or their worth. This is the hallmark of a fixed mindset. A growth mindset treats failure as mechanical feedback. When the growth path hits an obstacle, it extracts a lesson and loops over it. This process is driven by grit, perseverance, and passion, maintaining that feedback loop over years, regardless of starting IQ. Consider the National Spelling Bee. Research shows that the competitors who succeed aren't necessarily the ones with the highest raw intellect. They are the ones who apply the most grit to thousands of hours of deliberate practice. Moving from a personal verdict to an objective data point allows you to keep iterating while others stop. These patterns, systems thinking, grit, and growth, are skills built through repetition. They are available to anyone willing to practice them. You can begin this reprogramming by adopting just one of these patterns this week. The next time you face a setback, catch your default reaction. Replace the question, "Why is this happening to me?" with a more effective one. What can I learn from this to make my system better? The mind functions according to the protocols we feed it. We choose whether to rely on default settings or to deliberately install a more effective way of thinking. Which of these 5 cognitive shifts feels most relevant to your life right now? Tell us in the comments. And if you're ready to keep refining your approach to success, subscribe to Rise Standard for more.